the West African Examinations Council, WAEC, increased its examination fee per candidate from 13,950 to 18,000 naira for this 2022 coming up. Many have, according to them, the increase became necessary because of the rising costs of examination, the examination body is incurring in conducting its examinations. Now, what are your thoughts on this? Of course, many people have criticized this move and saying that it is totally wrong for them to increase it. I think it's about 25% increase, and it's wrong for them to increase it that much at this time. What are your thoughts on this? I'd like to hear your thoughts. You can call us on 081-270-53687 and also 09139076948. You can also send us messages on YouTube. We'll be happy to read your messages. Okay, so
they also said that those students that state governments sponsored for the examinations, that they won't have their results released because they have not paid for it. So the state governments are even owing, you know, this examination council. It's in the report, I read it. So for me, while I understand that they have incurred a lot of costs, especially with the COVID-19 pandemic and rising inflation that we have, I think we need to be sensitive to the plight of parents who have children who are taking these examinations. Everything is increasing right now. Everything practically, bread, yam, gari, rice, anything, everything, just name it, is increasing. We have tariff hanging, electricity tariff hanging over our heads. Likely fuel would likely increase very soon. And it's a lot of burden on the average worker, the average Nigerian who probably minimum wage is 30,000 naira. I haven't heard anything about that since. I don't know if some people are still collecting this salary. I think this is the time that individuals, this is an appeal to individuals that have their CSR in their corporations to, you know, find a way to help cushion the effects for the normal people who are writing these exams. So do something for that body. Pay out some debt for that. We have people till now, with everything increasing, go to clubs and blow. I know it's their money, it's okay. Blow up champagne and everything, but we should work collectively because we understand that education is the future of our generation. Let's not just leave it for this body or leave it for the government. Let's do what we can in our own little way to support, because I wouldn't say do not increase this amount if you cannot fund the examinations. It would be unfair.
I mean, we keep going through the cycle. It happens in power, it has in electricity. What are your thoughts on this?
Do not increase it. That's what I have to say. Don't increase it. Go back to the 13. Even the 13 is high. I'll tell you, for me, as a young girl writing this exam, my mom, a nurse, you know, barely able to make, and she did her best, but I also remember the people in my community, especially my grandma's area, some of the children who wanted to write exams. These were monies they would come and meet a family who would help put some money together. You know, I get messages, I want to write my WAEC, please, I have 5,000, can you, you know, sometimes when you hear, you think it's such a big amount of money, but Nigerians, many Nigerians are suffering. I understand sometimes, you know, the middle class, we don't get to see, but some people cannot, that money, if they were to remove it from their salary,
that's it,
for that form, many things will not be done for that, you know, for that month or for 2 months. So the WAEC has to find another way with government to pay for that difference. I don't think the Nigerian child or the Nigerian parents can afford that right now, especially as you mentioned, with the increasing cost in everything. This should not be one of it. I mean, especially when we're talking about JAM. What is JAM doing that they're actually sending money back to the government? They're saving money. Let's look to JAM. What are they doing? A lot of this is 2 or 3 years in the making of returning money to government, to the point that we're reducing the cost of JAM forms. So let's look at that, please. Okay. We cannot constantly, especially when it comes to education, and then that subsidy that we keep struggling about and talking about.
Can we deploy it?
Stop the subsidy. Put it towards education. Nigerian children should not be paying so much money to buy forms to write exams.
Right. Let me take this call from Dr. Joseph. Good morning. Are you there?
Yeah, hello. I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm calling from the UK, and I'm a third-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. So, I want to thank you, ladies, for the beautiful job you're doing.
Can you increase the volume a bit? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Go ahead. Somebody has increased the volume.
Yes. Yeah. I just want to say, regarding this issue of a price hike in WAEC, I do not believe that this is the best time for WAEC to do that. I understand that they need the money to be able to fund the exams, but unfortunately, with COVID that has happened, the Nigerian masses are suffering. Increasing this at this point in time would rob a lot of students the privilege of writing exams. What they need to do is talk to the government. Government needs to step in. If we need an extra 5,000 per student, the government will step in and bear the brunt. Asking private people to step up and help should be making plan C. At this point in time, our politicians should be looking at how do we bear the brunt for our children. If it means people in the house taking a cut in their allowances, they should do that. Always passing the buck to the masses should not be plan A.
Right. Okay.
We should look.
So just like Mariam has said, there are creative ways of doing this because the truth is that prices are increasing. Even the person printing out the papers for the examinations, prices are higher. So maybe a better way, I mean, I'll come to you, Tokwe, is because I know that Lagos State, for example, I think either they subsidize or pay for it or something. I'm not sure, but I know that Lagos State does pay for some of these forms for certain people who apply. So certain governments can actually have a situation whereby those who cannot afford it can therefore prove that they can afford it and apply and get a certain amount. But those middle class that can afford it should be able to pay this amount because we're saying that education anyway is expensive. Nigerians are consistently adverse to any form of increase. Yes, because we know that we don't have money. But whether you like it or not, something has to increase because the abroad that we all run to, education is not cheap there. Somebody will say, oh, well, they have a good standard of living. And I'll say it was based on the payment we would have made that increased their standard of living. So we have to give to take. But however, I understand that the indigents cannot afford this. Therefore, government should come in and step in to find a middle ground. What do you agree, Tokwe?
So I'm of the opinion that the government has a priority the government's job is to manage the resources available. You know, resources being human being as well as the financial one. Capital. The capital. And your most important resource is the people that you have. Because the only way government makes money, the only way the government should make money is from taxes. And the only way people will pay taxes is if they are earning well and if the economy is working. And then if you take it down, chunk it to the most basic form, education. An educated, enlightened mind will solve the problems you are facing. Education is very important, to which we should be emphasizing on government, putting more money into providing basic education. So I have decided that since it's like they don't know what to do, that I will provide some advice that can help out.
Come back, you give us some advice. Stay with us, right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing WAEC. Talk about what are your thoughts on this increase?
So I was going to propose solution to on ways we can go about it. I strongly feel that the basic WAEC is like everybody, when you finish that WAEC, you're at least supposed to be able to profess solutions to the society, able to solve the problems within our society. And we know that we're still endemically poor. So my solution will be that the government should provide free, the WAEC should be heavily subsidized, but for your first exam, so that we are filtering, we get the best, you prepare.
You go, yeah.
This is the best of your only opportunity to do this WAEC free.
Okay.
Dude, if you pass, you go. It's not perpetually free for everybody that is writing it 5-6 times. And also, we need to incentivize the people that are going through this educational system, because we know that every time we don't provide a solution to properly use the hands we have, they fall into crime. When you see them hanging around, they are human beings. They are like us. They just do not have the opportunities that we had. The government's job is to provide the opportunities for them. Now, many comments on Facebook is saying that this WAEC also needs to pay their staff salary. COVID happens to everybody. And the budget still gives millions of naira to food within the
But I thought WAEC is West African. It's not a Nigerian examination, right?
No, it's
so
not.
we don't determine. So it's so it's not Nigeria that determines the prices.
No, it's not. We're not talking about the price.
So the price is 13 based on the exchange rate from whichever country that is governing.
Logistics, inflation.
So we're not the so we can't change the prices because they can say government increased. WAEC. It's not us. It's WAEC that increased the price because we are so quick to say government increased because we want to. Yes, so WAEC increased. Now, are we not asking government to subsidize? You're proposing a solution that they should pay for the first examination.
So I didn't. You have a call?
Go ahead.
Okay, so
I think I have a call. You're right. Charles, sorry, not Bino. Charles, are you there?
Yes.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Good morning, ladies.
Morning.
Morning.
I want to align with Morale on this topic. Number one, it is West Africa, not Nigerian Examination Council.
Okay.
But the major problem is not 13,000 naira 50 increased to 18,000. But the major problem is this. In Nigeria, we have an over-privatization and over-commercialization of education. My daughter wrote WAEC this 2021. She did not pay 13,000 naira and 50. She paid 35,000 naira.
Yes,
so that is actually the problem, not 13,000 naira 50 increased to 18,000. Nigeria education has been over-privatized and over-commercialized. So you cannot have government come in to subsidize WAEC fees when even the private schools that have taken over the whole education, secondary education in Nigeria, they are charging for sitting in the seat you use. They charge for the hall, exam hall. Some schools even charge for settling invigilators and supervisors. Yeah. That is the major problem we have. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's another angle. So we, the people, have also affected this.
So, because I don't even understand why you have to charge extra, because these are students. So external exams are different. You know, there are students that come from different places and they are sent to different schools to write. But when it comes to WAEC, they write school by school. These are children who have gone through your school. And to write their final exams, I do not understand why you have to increase payment because you want to pay for hall, invigilator, and all that. That should be a part of the school system. That's one problem that we have. I personally did not write WAEC because at the time the fee came out, my father was broke, he could not pay. So I missed out on WAEC. I just carried my bag and went home. I was collecting the name dropout till GCE came and I had to write GCE. Okay. And what I understood happened was, because it was time to write WAEC, there was not enough planning. You've been going to school, you've been paying school fees. I want to believe that WAEC is not the highest amount of money you have ever paid in school. But parents plan some of these things. You set money aside, even if it's 1,000 naira every month, because you understand that this girl at some point will have to write these examinations. So you don't wait till it's time to write WAEC and everybody's running helter-skelter. While we understand that the government, even if we put it on the government, if they don't have money to pay because they are buying cars and doing other things and they refuse to pay, your children will lose out. So parents should do what they can do to start saving early enough. You can start saving 2 years. This girl is in SS1, SS2. You start saving 2 years. Just drop it in one colo till it's time. Because this is not government increasing it. If government cannot, cushion the effects for you by giving subsidy, we're shouting on one hand, remove subsidy from here. We're shouting on the other hand, put subsidy here. We need to sort out ourselves.
Okay, so I understand that every individual needs to take steps to provide for their family and make sure you provide for, your children about to write exams. And I believe that many Nigerians are already doing that. But also one of the reasons that we push for government to do things like that and institutionalize it is so that, as a country, so we're not looking micro anymore. We're looking as a country, the benefit will come to us as a country and how it will help us generally and help the education generally as a country. Because individually, we all take those steps. Imagine, using your example, that this parent had put money aside and everything, and the parent dies just before the girl is to pay for WAEC, and somehow she cannot reach that money. you want that a child like that, a disadvantaged child like that, can rely on the institution to make sure that she gets to buy her form and write her exam. So that's what we're talking about. We already know. People do, Nigerian women, you know them now, we do all these asusu, we bring money together. My daughter's about to write exam, oh please, oh, I'm collecting this month. We already do that. So Nigerians, you know, are that way. We are now asking the government, institutionalize this creativity, find ways to provide a fund that children can reach, you know, parents can reach to pay for things like that. And I still don't understand WAEC, well, West Africa or no West Africa, this money, they said, is logistics. That logistic cost should not fall on the parents again.
Yeah, so I think that's more with private schools. Because public schools would dare not go past what, go past what WAEC is offering.
No, this is WAEC.
I'm just saying that the 35,000 for that we're hearing is private school, and that's another way the people issue. Let me take this call from OLUMIDE. OLUMIDE, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, morning, ladies. I would like to speak on this issue about WAEC increasing their fee. I think we cannot crucify them for that, because looking at the cost of conducting this exam, not especially marking and other logistics, it's highly expensive. And we can also not compare them with JAM, because JAM is objective, it's easy to mark, they can mark with computer, and WAEC cannot do that. But generally, I think education is underfunded in Nigeria, and government needs to pay attention. I cannot now prescribe whether it's going to be by subsidizing WAEC or what have you, but we need to pay more attention on education, because that's the future.
Thank you. It's interesting how Nigerians, when it comes to WAEC and stuff, this kind of examinations, we raise an alarm. But when SAT says I've increased my salary from $100 to $500, families are going to find out SAT money. Yes, or the GMAT, they will find that funding to write those exams. I'm just telling you that you have to, wait, I'm saying this is an exam you have to write to enter university. For US, it's SAT. For, is it not UK? What's the one they write, the A-levels or O-levels they write for UK? The point I'm trying to make is that they increase their prices. So WAEC also is West African. But when we have that increase, we complain. But if it's a foreign company or foreign country that increases, we'll just we tax all the family members and their great and their grandparents to pay that money.
If that education throughout was free and then they increase the forms that you have to buy, it sort of makes up for it. Do you understand? Most of the schools, most of the schools there is Nigerian schools.
Public schools, are they not free?
Public schools.
Secondary schools.
Yeah. Are they not free? I'm asking
me, I know private, but me, I know that for basic education is free.
Yeah.
Secondary school, I don't think you pay that much. You don't pay that much either. So
it's planning. You know why I'm saying it's planning? So we still need to, we understand the sort of government we have till we sort that problem. We can't just sit down and wait for them.
Yes.
You will lose out.
Simple.
So plan yourself. We still buy, even the very poorest of people still buy a shwebi when a wedding is going on.
Exactly.
They still collect borrow money from family members to plan. No, Nigeria. This is Nigeria.
I'm telling you from experience, and I know what I'm saying.
So those that don't, let's defend. Those that don't, they therefore must rely on the government. The government must step in
and have that system in place. Exactly. And also private individuals who can support should please support.
End the conversation. Thank you very much. On that note, that's all we can take. Yes, do you have any tweets for us or messages? Any messages? I have 1 more minute. Any more messages on Facebook? Anybody giving us solutions on Facebook?
Okay.
So, BC note, WAEC officials are also parents. They are just, It's unfortunate that WAEC workers are demanding more pay for services rendered. COVID happened to them as well.
Okay, let's wrap
up. Okay,
Bilkis,
I have. Bilkis says, if we are conflicted about NECO and WAEC, learners should be allowed to pick either if they have no use for WAEC. Things they happen. No. Obiaju, don't be surprised if you find an orphan in the category of those people who are not able to pay for WAEC, or a child under the care of guardians, not biological parents. In an ideal situation, what you suggested would be a good way to go. Save ahead.
They have to wrap up. But I think the real crux of the problem is the private schools who actually bill those parents between 35,000. That's a whole topic for another day. We have to focus on that, because who regulates these private schools that actually can increase the price of WAEC to as much as 45,000? I'm saying in my messages. That's all we can take. When we come back, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.